Hi, my name is Anthony. Today I'll be talking to you about a project our team's currently working on. The task was to mimic a online retailer's product page, and our team chose to go with REI, a camping sports goods online retailer. My portion of the page to build was the top header bar. This includes a navigation bar at the very top, a search bar, a sign-in kind of pop-up modal, as well as a sub-menu pop-up modal as well. I ran into a couple of interesting hurdles as I was working through the project, the first of which kind of happened early on in the project. It was just figuring out how to get the visual assets like the pictures and the icons. Pictures were pretty straightforward as just inspecting them showed that they were linked onto another part of the page. We just needed to get the URLs and store them on our S3 storage. The tricky bit was actually the icons. The icons, upon inspection, seemed like they should have been there, but they're actually stored in some kind of library. It was kind of obscured, wasn't sure how to access it. And so my initial thought was to simply screen capture them or kind of snip them out and store them as pictures within the S3. But after some online searching, our team found out that REI actually has their own github.io, which acts as a style guide for their web team. One of the portions was actually an icons portion, and looking through it, I quickly found out that they were using Vue as their front-end library. Our team was using React for this, so we couldn't use the library they had built out for all the icons, but luckily they did provide SVG values for the icons themselves. And so there was kind of a decision point at that point. Do we go with the screen cap method or do we go with the SVGs? The screen cap method was pretty straightforward, didn't have to learn any new ideas. SVGs, a little bit trickier to work with, but ultimately that's what we went with simply because if this page were to be resized or readjusted in any way, the icons would still come out very crisp, kind of just to improve the user experience, really. Another hurdle that I ran into before even starting was just how nested the structure of the submenus really were. The submenus went basically 3 levels deep, and at the 3rd level there were probably about 400 components overall with all the submenus added together. At first glance I had thought that they were just different enough that I couldn't build one template to capture each bit, but I was kind of just looking a little bit too far back. I had to zoom in, see the individual components a little bit closer as little chunks to realize that, hey, they're actually very modular, that if I just build this one part, I can replicate it throughout multiple times throughout this submenu, just to make my life easier instead of having to hard code 400 things. And in case the web page does ever change, we can just change one data source instead of having to go to each page and changing them manually. That is all for my talk. Thank you very much.